Welcome to Tungal online classes. In the last class what we discussed means we discussed the combination of inductor coils. The combination of inductor coils. What is that? The series combination of the two given inductor coils concept we discussed. There we derived that whenever the two coils will be arranged in the series combination, the effective value of coefficient of self-induction is given by L suffix S is equal to L1 plus L2. So, whenever the two coils will be arranged in which combination? Series combination, their effective coefficient of self-induction will be given by L suffix S is equal to L1 plus L2. Similarly, whenever they will be in the parallel combination, you derived the formula 1 by L suffix P is equal to 1 by L suffix P is equal to 1 by L1 plus 1 by L2. These are the two conditions, that is for one is series combination as well as parallel combination whenever the two or more number of inductor coils are given. And one more special case also we derived. So that is whenever we consider the two inductor coils and they will be placed in the series combination, whenever we consider the two inductor coils and moreover they will be placed in the series combination, and also we consider the phenomena of the mutual induction, there what we derived that the total flux associated with the first coil due to the self-induction as well as the mutual induction phenomena also we calculated. Similarly, we also calculated the total induced EMF for the first coil by considering the phenomena of the self-induction as well as the mutual induction. So, by combining the individual EMF of the two given coil, there you derived the formula for L effective is equal to L1 plus L2 plus 2M in the first case. In the second case you derive L1 plus L2 minus 2M. So, these are the relations we got whenever the two coils will be arranged in the series combination, and moreover by considering the phenomena of the mutual induction, that what we discussed in the last lecture. Now, what we are going to discuss now, similar to like this. So, here you got the relation in between L1 comma L2 comma coefficient of mutual induction, in which case whenever the two coils will be arranged in the series combination. In the similar manner, whenever these two coils will be arranged in the parallel combination, whenever the given two coils will be arranged in the parallel combination also, we have to derive one relation with L1 comma L2 comma capital M. So, here also what we are going to discuss, the flux linked with the first coil due to the self-induction as well as the mutual induction. Similarly, the flux which is associated with the second coil due to the self-induction as well as the mutual induction. So, here we are going to introduce the phenomena of mutual induction in between the two given coils, whether they will be in the series combination or in the parallel combination. Okay. See here we consider two different inductor coils. How many coils we consider here? We consider two different inductor coils which are having the coefficient of self-inductions L1 comma L2 respectively. So, what we assumed here? We assume two different inductor coils which are having the coefficient of self-inductions L1 comma L2 respectively, and let I1 comma I2 are indicating the amount of the currents which are passing through each and every coil. In the case of the series combination, we told through each and every coil the same amount of the current will be flowing, as well as the rate of change of current is also what remains same. Since they will be in the series combination, same current will be flowing, the same rate of change of current is also existed. But in the case of the different coils which are arranged in the parallel combination, different currents are flowing. So here what we are assuming, I1 comma I2 are indicating the currents which are passing through the given two inductor coils, and so this is the first assumption, and L1 comma L2 will be indicating what? Coefficient of self inductions. And one more assumption is that here the first inductor coil is consisting of N1 number of turns, and the second inductor coil is consisting of N2 number of turns. So inductor is looking like nothing but a solenoid, so that it is consisting of a definite number of turns. That definite number of turns will be assuming as N1 comma N2 respectively. So here N1 comma N2 are indicating what? Number of turns. N1 comma N2 are indicating what? Number of turns are present in the first coil as well as the second coil. So this coil we are assuming as first coil, and this coil will be taken as a what? Second coil. Now, so I want to discuss about the physical quantity flux. So what amount of flux is linked with the first coil? I want to know. So what I want to know? Due to the either self-induction phenomena or mutual induction phenomena, how much flux will be associated with the each and every coil. So that physical quantity value I want to discuss now. First I consider the phenomena of self-induction. So which phenomena I will be consider here? Self-induction. So we are going to calculate for first which coil? First coil. So I consider here the first coil will be considered. For that first coil, I want to apply the phenomena of self-induction. So for any one of the phenomena, we know that the amount of the flux is directly proportional to the amount of the flux which is linked with the given number of turns, or a given coil will be directly proportional to the current passing through the given coil. Once again, either you consider the self induction or a mutual induction, the amount of the flux linked with each and every turn is directly proportional to what? I. So here in the case of the self induction, the flux is belongs to the first coil, and the current what we consider, the same amount of current is flowing through the same coil. So that here the flux will be represented by phi1, and the current passing through the same coil is taken as a what? Phi1. The current passing through the coil will be taken as a what? I1. So that the flux linked with a single turn, phi1, is directly proportional to what? I1. Because it is consisting of N1 number of turns, and its coefficient of self-induction is equal to what? L1. So that for the N number of turns, for capital N number of turns, I will write the total flux is equal to N1 phi1. The total flux is equal to what? N1 phi1. So if you want to remove the proportionality, we have to introduce the proportionality constant. Since the phenomena what we consider here, self-induction, as a result we are putting the constant value will be taken as a what? L1 into I1. So from this L1 value I will write L1 value. So L1 value is equal to what? N1 into phi1 by I1. So equation number 1. So once again see here what we are going to discuss now here. We are going to discuss about the physical quantity, that is nothing but a flux. So what amount of flux is actually produced within the inductor coil 1. So here Whenever you consider both self-induction phenomena as well as the mutual induction phenomena, some of the flux is created by the self-induction and some more additional flux will be produced by the mutual induction phenomena due to the current flowing through the second coil, so that the flux linked with first coil, due to the flow of electrical current, in second coil is. So here indirectly which phenomena we are going to introduce? We are going to introduce the phenomena of mutual induction. Due to the flow of electrical current in the second coil, some more flux will be linked with the first coil, so that the amount of the flux linked with the first coil will be denoted by what? N1/1 only, so that the total flux which is produced due to the current passing through the second coil is N1/1 is equal to, since you are using the phenomena of mutual induction, so that N1/1 is equal to M into, due to which current the flux was produced? I2 current, due to the current flowing through the secondary coil, the flux was produced in the first coil, so that this is the amount of the flux which was linked with the first coil due to the current flowing through the second coil, due to the phenomena of mutual induction. So here directly I am writing that capital M only. In the previous topics also we discussed M12 is equal to M21. So that from this I will write the formula M is equal to N1/1 by I2. Equation number 2. So here, for the given first coil, I calculated the amount of the flux which was developed by the phenomena of the self-induction. Similarly, I also calculated the additional flux which is produced by the phenomena of the mutual induction. So that point you have to understood. Once again I am saying here what you have to calculated: the actual flux which is linked with the first coil that was developed by the current I1 by the phenomena of self-induction, that will be calculated like this. So N1/1 is equal to L1I1, that is produced by the phenomena of self-induction. Due to the phenomena of the mutual induction, some more additional flux is also linked with the first coil, that was given by N1/1 is equal to M into I2. From this I wrote the formula for the capital M. Capital M is equal to N1/1 by I2. Okay. Going to calculate the total flux produced in the second coil, For the second coil, by the phenomena of the self-induction, similar to that, for the second coil, number of turns is equal to what? N2. Current flowing is equal to what? I2. So when you consider the phenomena of the self-induction, the total flux which is produced in the second coil, similar to that means, so the total flux which is linked with the second coil by the phenomena of the self-induction is N2/2 is equal to coefficient of self-induction of the second coil is what? L2. And what is the actual current that is flowing through the second coil? That value is equal to Y2. Once again see here, by the self-induction, what is the flux produced in the first coil? N1/1 is equal to L1I1. The same principle we applied for the second coil. From that I am writing that N2/2 is equal to L2I2. From this I will write the value of L2 is equal to N2/2 by I2. equation number 3. Equation number 3. So I derived the expressions for L1, M and L2. Similarly, if we consider the phenomena of mutual induction, so the additional flux linked with the second coil is, so when you consider the mutual induction, that means due to the flow of the electrical current in the first coil, some more additional flux will be linked with the second coil. Such a phenomena we are saying as a what? Mutual induction. Similar to that only, right? So here for the second coil, total flux value is equal to what? N2 total flux is equal to what? N2 Here which phenomena you consider here? Mutual induction phenomena. So that the proportionality constant is the what? M, and this flux is produced by how? Due to the flow of the electrical current in the first coil. So that N2 is equal to M into I1. From this, M is equal to N2 by I1. Equation number 4. So we derive L1, L2 and M values. Now see here. So we got the 4 different equations. What is the equation number 1? Coefficient of self-induction of the first coil. L1 is equal to N1 by I1. L2 is equal to N2 by I2, and M is equal to N1 by I2. Again M is equal to N2 by I1. So here 2,4. Equation 2,4 will be what? Multiplied together. So the left side term M into M, that becomes to what? M square. M into M is equal to what? M square. And so the numerator terms N1 by I2 into N2 by I1. So the left side terms will be giving what? M into M is equal to M square. Right side terms is equal to N1 by I2 into N2 by I1. So it will be altered as N1 by I1 into N2 by I2. So M square is equal to what you got? M square is equal to N1 by I1 into N2 by I2. You look at here, L1 is equal to what? N1 by I1. So in the place of N1 by I1, what I will write? L1, and in the place of N2 by I2, what I will write? L2. So here M square is equal to what you got? M square is equal to what you got? L1 into M square is equal to what? L1 into L2. M square is equal to what? L1 into L2. Or M is equal to under root of L1 L2. M is equal to what? Under root of L1 L2. When this formula will be existed, whenever the two different coils will be arranged in the parallel combination, and moreover, when you consider the phenomena of the mutual induction, at that time the relation between L1 L2 M is M is equal to under root of L1 and L2. So this is the required condition. Next concept is AC generator. The next concept is the what? AC generator. So in the electromagnetic induction, up to now what we are going to discuss, whenever there is a change in a magnetic flux will be existing, as a result induced EMF or induced current will be existed. Just we told that due to the change in a magnetic flux, the induced EMF or induced electrical current will be existed. We can't said whether this current will be either a direct current or alternating current. Direct current or alternating current. What is a direct current? So the current whose magnitude as well as the direction, the current whose magnitude as well as the direction does not be changes with respect to the time. The current whose magnitude as well as the direction does not be changes with respect to the time, such a type of current we are calling as a what? Direct current. Now, how can we define the AC current? Means the direction of the AC current is always changes with respect to the time, so the current will be varies sinusoidally with respect to the time. Such a type of current we are calling as alternating current. So here the production of the alternating current is a very important application in the case of the electromagnetic induction. So the principle behind the production of or the existence of the alternating current is nothing but electromagnetic induction. And what is the source we needed? What is the device we need to produce the alternating current? Means, so the device which can be producing or converting the mechanical energy into the electrical energy. The device which is converting the mechanical energy into the electrical energy, such a type of device we are calling as what? AC generator. This device, that is nothing but AC generator, will be the device which is producing the alternating currents. So here, who are producing the alternating current? Means to produce the alternating current, one device is needed. That device what we are calling as AC generator. But whatever the mechanism is going inside the AC generator, means up to now what we discussed in the basic. So the same thing is going on in the working of the AC generator. So how can we define the AC generator? The device definition. The device which converts mechanical energy into the device which is converting the mechanical energy into the electrical energy is called as AC generator. Is called as a what? AC generator. That device name we are calling as a what? AC generator. But whatever the mechanism is going in that device will be the basic thing what we discussed earlier. So how can we change the magnetic flux in the case of the AC generator? Means, so the principle according to the principle of AC generator, we have to change either orientation of the coil, either we have to change the orientation of the coil, or by changing the effective area of the coil. We can induce the induced EMF in a coil. So what is the main principle of the working of the given AC generator? Means According to the principle of the AC generator, according to the principle of the AC generator, either we have to change the orientation of the given coil, either we have to change the orientation of the given coil, or we have to change the effective area of cross section of the given coil for producing the induced EMF in that given coil. So this is a principle required to produce the alternating current. Once again, what is the principle is needed? That to produce the alternating current, we have to induce the induced EMF. This induced EMF will be existed in this AC generator. Means how? Means, so here, either by changing the orientation of the coil, either by changing the orientation of the given coil, or by changing the effective area of cross section of the given coil, we will induce the induced EMF by changing the external magnetic flux, So this is the required principle for the working of the AC generator. See here. So here the AC generator is consisting of some of the basic elements. So this is the construction of the AC generator. So here in the AC generator, we are considering two strong electromagnets. What we consider here? A strong magnetic south pole as well as strong magnetic north pole will be considered. So by considering this strong magnetic south pole as well as a strong magnetic north pole, they will be producing a very intensive uniform magnetic field. So here, what is the use of the north comma south pole? Means they will produce a high intensive uniform magnetic field. So what they will be producing? That the north pole as well as the south pole will be producing what? High intensive magnetic field will be produced. And in between the magnetic field which is produced by the north comma south pole, we are taking a rectangular current carrying coil. So which type of coil we are taking here? A rectangular current carrying coil will be considered. We are assuming that this rectangular current carrying coil will be consisting of capital N number of turns, and the area of cross section of each turn will be is equal to what? Capital A. And let I is indicating the current passing through the given circuit. So what we are assuming here? We assume a strong magnetic south pole as well as the north pole. What is the need of that strong magnetic north pole as well as the south pole? Means that is producing what? A high intensive uniform magnetic field will be produced. Its magnetic field intensity will be represented by capital B, where capital B is indicating what? The magnetic field strength which is produced by the north pole as well as south pole. And in between the two poles, north pole as well as the south pole, which type of coil we placed here? We consider what? A rectangular current carrying coil will be considered, which is consisting of a capital N number of turns, and area of cross section is equal to what? Capital A. And where this coil will be placed means the coil is placed over the rotor shaft. One particular arrangement will be there. That arrangement name we are calling as what? Rotor shaft, which is consisting of slip rings as well as the carbon brushes. This complete arrangement, this axle, slip rings and carbon brushes, all these things we are calling as a what? Rotor shaft. So whenever this circular current carrying coil will be placed over the rotor shaft, it is easy to rotate over that axis. It is easy to rotate over that axis. Like that, we made one arrangement over that rotor shaft. We are placing what? Rectangular current carrying coil. Rectangular current carrying coil. Now, so how can we produce the alternating EMF means? How can we produce the alternating EMF means? Already we told what is the Lenz law. The Lenz law will be giving the law of conservation of energy. So the mechanical energy will be converted into the electrical energy. Mechanical energy will be converted into what? Electrical energy. So by applying an external mechanical force or mechanical force, we rotate the rotor. So by applying or by doing some external work done, so we have to rotate the rotor. We have to rotate that system, rotor system. So whenever the rotor will be rotates, because the coil will be placed over that, so that coil is also making rotations. The coil is also making what? Rotations. So suppose we are assuming that the magnetic field will be passing from left to right or in this horizontal direction. When the plane of the coil will be fixed, and moreover it is a perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field, so maximum flux will be crossing the surface. When it is a maximum? Whenever the plane will be perpendicular and the plane will be stationary. Suppose the plane will be rotated like this, so only a less number of lines of forces crossing this surface normally. Whenever in this case maximum number of lines of forces are crossing the surface normally, whenever the orientation of the coil will be changes, the number of lines of forces crossing the surface by normally is also decreases. So what we have to understood means, when the coil will be rotating, so what we observe, the magnetic flux will be changes. What we will observe here, the magnetic flux will be changes. Here the coil is not in the state of the rest. The coil will be rotating about the vertical axis. See, if the magnetic field will be acting along the horizontal direction, so this coil will be rotating about the vertical axis. So that whenever the coil will be making the rotations, the flux linked with the coil will be changes. So what we observe here, whenever the coil will be rotating, we find that the flux value will be changes. What is the general formula for the flux? So the general formula for the magnetic flux will be given by phi is equal to B bar dot A bar. So up to now, whatever the conditions we taken, generally we wrote that phi is equal to B into A. Phi is equal to what? B into A. Why you wrote B into A? You consider that the plane of the coil will be perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. As a result, the flux linked with the surface becomes to what? Maximum. But in this case, the plane of the coil should not be fixed, so that it is rotating. So that we have to consider the angle between the B bar comma A bar also. We have to consider what? The angle between the B bar comma A bar also. So that the flux phi will be given by B into A into cos theta. Equation number 1. So here, already I told the coil will be making the rotations about the vertical axis. Whenever any one of the object will be making the rotations, it is having some angular velocity. it is having what? Angular velocity. We are assuming that the angular velocity of the rotating coil is equal to omega. The angular velocity of the rotating coil is equal to what? Omega. So whenever the angular velocity is equal to omega, we will write theta is equal to omega t. Angular displacement theta is equal to what? Omega t. So the equation 1 becomes to what? The equation 1 becomes to what? B into A into cos omega t. Cos omega t. So flux phi is indicating what? The amount of the flux which is linked with a single turn. The amount of the flux which is linked with the single turn. So if the given coil is consisting of capital N number of turns, given rectangular current carrying is consisting of what? Capital N number of turns. Therefore, the total flux linked with the N number of turns will be given by phi total is equal to how can we write? B into A into N into cos omega t, where N is indicating what? Total number of turns. Now, so the flux value will be this. So what we told in the principle, we have to rotate the coil for producing the change in a magnetic flux, Whenever the change in magnetic flux will be there, induced EMF is also existed. So that from the Faraday law of electromagnetic induction, from the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, how can we write? Induced EMF E is equal to minus d phi by dt. So this is a relation we know earlier. So what is the fundamental equation for the induced EMF? E is equal to what? Minus d phi by dt. See here, minus d by dt of. So what is the phi? Total flux. BAN cos omega t. If you observe the physical quantities here, what is the capital B? B is indicating the magnetic field intensity. Already we told uniform magnetic field will be there. So B will be constant, and we consider the rectangular current carrying coil which is having the fixed area of cross section. So that A is also constant, number of turns means it is also constant. So here what is the variable quantity means? Theta will be the variable quantity. Angular displacement, angle value will be changes. So that we will write minus BAN will be the constant factor. So d by dt of cos omega t. Derivative of cos function is equal to minus sin omega t. So here minus BAN into minus sin omega t. Again here a function of time will be there. So one more derivative, again derivative of omega t. If you simplify this one, minus into minus will be there. It becomes to what? Plus. Again derivative of omega t value is equal to becomes to what? Omega. So directly I am writing that. Therefore E is equal to, you got BAN omega into sin omega t. So this is the final expression you are getting. What is the small e denotes? That due to the change in orientation of the coil, of the given rectangular current carrying coil, so the amount of the EMF developed within it will be given by E is equal to BAN omega sin omega t. So it can be changed as E is equal to E naught into sin omega t. E is equal to what? E naught into sin omega t. So that this induced EMF, E will be represented as a function of sin omega t. That means the induced EMF E value varies EMF E value varies. So sinusoidally with respect to the time. So in the next topic we will said AC current. If any one of the physical quantity will be varies with respect to time by sinusoidally, that quantities we are calling as either alternating EMF or alternating current. So here EMF will be varies with respect to the time by sinusoidally, so that here E will be called as alternating EMF. So here E will be calling as a what? Alternating EMF. And also we are calling as E is also giving what? Instantaneous value of EMF. So E is giving what? Instantaneous value of the given EMF. So at a particular instant of t seconds, what is the EMF present within the coil will be calling as instantaneous value of the EMF. So that here E naught value is equal to what? Here E naught is equal to you wrote BAN omega. So this BAN omega will be calling as peak value of EMF. So in the alternating current we will get peak value of the current, peak value of the EMF, RMS value of the current, RMS value of the EMF also we are getting. So if any one of the function was represented by either E is equal to E naught sin omega t or E is equal to E naught cos omega t, those functions are giving the alternating values. That means those values will be changes with respect to the time by alternatively or sinusoidally. Such type of voltage we are calling as what? Alternating EMF. Once this alternating EMF is present within the coil itself will be having some resistance. As a result, some current is produced. So how can we calculate the current value? Current is equal to EMF by resistance. Current is equal to what? EMF by resistance. So here current I is equal to, what is the EMF value here? E by R. Such type of current we are calling as a what? Alternating current. So that the current which is produced by the alternating EMF, will be calling as alternating current. Like this we produce either alternating EMF or alternating current by using the device that is calling as a what? AC generator. So in the AC generator, how can we produce the alternating EMF or alternating current? Means by changing the orientation of the coil or by changing the area of cross section of the given coil, you may able to produce either alternating voltage or alternating current. So this is the working of AC generator. Thank you. So with this, the theory part of the EMI is completed. Okay.